Hello and welcome back to one of our mini training sessions on Workbooks CRM. And in this one, we're going to cover party relationships, the party relationships feature in Workbooks, which, as you may know, being a Workbooks user, is a way of describing, creating relationships from one contact to another contact, an organization to another organization, a way of describing that relationship. So you're building up these networks of different relationships, the spider's web of relationships in your workbook system to really see who reports to who, what the relationship type is, and so on. And every market sector will have different types of relationships, whether you work in you're a reseller or you're a dealer or you're working with large organizations. Everyone's going to have different ways, different terminology of creating those relationships. So in this session, we're going to take a deeper dive into it and show you how easy it is to create your own kind of custom relationship type to link these contacts, link these organizations together. So hello, my name is Tim Wilmot, and I'm joined by my colleague, Stuart Lawrenson Hyde, and our company, Wizard Systems. We're a leading independent CRM solutions provider of systems like Workbooks, and we help out organizations use simple and affordable solutions like Workbooks to improve their sales, marketing, and customer service productivity. So thanks for you, those of you on this session live, for joining us on this little session where we go through these party relationships. The audio part of this presentation is called it one way only. You've got a question, pop that into the question box on your meeting control panel, and we'll do our best to answer that at the end. Well, let me just pass over to my colleague Stuart, and he'll take us through party relationships in a bit more detail. Over to you, Stuart.
As Tim mentioned, Workbooks can link contacts and organizations. So this allows us to see how they relate to each other. And the best way to show this will be to go through a scenario. So I've got a contact in my Workbooks that works for the Royal Liverpool Golf Club. His name is John Hegarty. Now I've been informed that they're going to act as a consultant to Hoy Lake Golf Club as their pro is taking a leave of absence for 3 months. This is all a made-up scenario. But I'd like to show this in my CRM. That way it would help with quotes, opportunities, and other correspondence. So how do I create this relationship? Well, let's have a look at what's available. Here's John's record. And if I go to the organization tab, we can see that they're employed by the Royal Liverpool Golf Club. But we knew that already. So I'm going to add a third-party relationship to this record. So I click the button and have a look. Okay, there's a few in here, but consultant isn't one of them. There's a few, but I'm not going to go down the route of using another value just because it happens to be similar. Right then. So how to get consultant in here? Let's go and have a look. So this involves some customization. Luckily, it's not at a heavy level, just an extra option on a drop-down list. So if we pop into Start, Configuration, and Customization. And now the bit that throws some people. Despite how it looks, it's not a pick list. It's actually a record type, and it's called Party Relationships. It's here that all the various relationship options within Workbooks are stored. So don't panic, it's not as daunting as it looks. We're going to be looking at this relationship type section, and here they all are. I can scroll through and see what they are, but I'm just going to go straight in and add a new third-party relationship. Click the option, and an empty box appears. Now to test my English, so I'm going to call this consult. I can add a description if I choose to make it easier for other people to understand what this is being created. But all I'm really going to do here is I'm just going to add the various fields. So I'm going to say that the first field is consultant. And if I tab, it will do its best to fill these fields in for me. Is the consultant of. So I'm going to change that to receives, how posh can we get? Receives consultation from. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And again, we go to this side, and again, this is just consultant. And I tab, and it will do its best to fill these in for me as well. So I'm going to, is the consultant of? No. I'm going to say, I'm going to change this completely. I'm going to change consults with. Consults with. Yeah, that works. So I save and close. I can save and close this screen. And go back where I started with John's record. So this time we go back in and we say third-party relationship, John Hegarty, consults with. If I start typing, Hoylake, I'm going to say that initially 3 months. I'm going to put in here that it is for these 3 months. So let's say end of May, just to be safe. And it's open, which means it's ready to go. So I add this. We can see on the record now that Royal Liverpool employ John, but Hoylake received consultation, when I learned to spell properly, from John Hegarty. So let's save and close that. So what else has it done? So Royal Liverpool's record hasn't changed. Yeah, they're not linked to Hoylake. If we go and look at people, John is still an employee. However, if we switch over to Hoylake's record and have a look at their system, maybe a little bit easier to see, and go look at their people, see that there's John Warden, the guy who's now on, but at the top now, John Hegarty consults with Hoylake. So I can see now going forward, I can make use of these consultations to make sure that these relationships, to make sure that everybody is related properly and in a clean way to other records within the system. And that's how to create customer relationships within Workbooks.
Thanks very much there, Stuart. As we can see, it's not a pick list, all right? So just a slightly different way of creating these custom relationship types, these party relationship types, and just thinking about the terminology that you give it between the source record and the target record, the subtle difference in terminology there. So, well, thanks very much, Stuart. We're now ready for any questions that you may have around this feature, or indeed anything else relating to Workbooks while you're thinking about that. Just a brief introduction to Workbooks. I know many of you on the call are familiar with us, but we've been doing CRM a long time. We're independent, and we do supply a number of different CRM solutions, including Workbooks. And we provide the complete service around Workbooks, the product, provisioning the product, setting it up, and customizations and training as well, on site at your place or our place or online, and the ongoing help desk support as well. Right, question time then. First one, Stuart, from Ellis. Who can, oh, this is a pretty good question. Who can create these relationship types?
All right. It's a capability, so you don't need to be an admin or part of the sysadmin. You just need this capability added to a group that you happen to be a member of. Nice simple one, that one.
Yeah, I guess if you're a small setup of Workbooks, then it's not as important as if you're a larger implementation where you've got multiple users. That's where you do need some sort of pecking order as regards who can do this. But good question there. Second question from Nicole. We've made relationships, but how can you change it afterwards? So I guess you've made that relationship type then how do you change it to something else?
Oh, yeah, probably use my example earlier. I noticed that I spelt consultation wrong, but I'd already saved and closed and I'd already gone into the record. I can go back into that party relationship itself where you saw those options, the various options and you can change the wording. The one thing you can't do is you can't delete a relationship from party relationships once it's been used on a record. Once it's in use, it's locked in place. But you can edit the text if as you see fit.
Okay, I hope that answers your question, Nicole. I don't think there's any more questions there. Thanks very much for those. Right, so you're on, just to keep in the loop, you're on 7.2 workbooks right now as of February 2024. Do you need any training on workbooks, any additional assistance to get more out of the system? We'd be happy to arrange a little review of your workbook setup and make some suggestions to you. As regards future Workbooks 101 or Workbooks Wednesday sessions, as we sometimes call it, please drop us a line with any topic suggestions that you think might be of interest to other workbooks users. We'd be happy to hear from you. But thanks for your time on this session covering party relationships in workbooks. We'll catch up with you on the next event. Thanks very much indeed. Bye-bye.